Alright, welcome back to the Game Smash Podcast. As always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and with me is...
Was Muhammad Yusuf.
And, oh boy, we got lots to talk about. We got a Helldivers expansion. We got Tekken 7 announcement trailer. We got Street Fighter V release date for February 16th. We got Gravity Rush 2 gameplay trailer. We got Nier Automata. We got Battleborn beta. We got Dreams beta. We got No Man's Sky release date for June 2016. We got Wild, a new PS4 game. We got Boundless, which is another new IP. And then finally, we got Detroit Become Human from Quantic Dream. So let's talk about what we played this week. I picked up Divinity! Yay!
Yeah, I saw that.
I really liked the game so far. It's very clear to me, though, this game becomes a million times better if you're playing it with like an actual other person. Like it just feels really, really good when you're like it's totally playable single player. Like I played a good like 2 hours by myself, just switching between the characters. But it feels very D&D. Like very classic D&D. It has a kind of like goofy sense of humor from time to time. Doesn't take itself too seriously. Which I kind of like. Like it's kind of refreshing. And the one thing that I was really surprised is like how much you can do in the co-op, and you're not like limited. Because I always come back to how limited I felt when playing Fable 2 co-op, and it was like the worst experience ever. I keep coming back to that, but it's just a good example. Like in that game, you couldn't split up for shit. Like you had to literally stick together as a group. Or else the game would just kill itself. But in this game, it's designed so well that it's like, I was playing with my friend, and my friend was like, I'm going to stand here and decide whether or not I want to use this weapon or this weapon, which is the most optimal setup for like 10 minutes. So while he's doing that, I'm going to go and finish a quest, or I'm going to go meet this really weird elf who wants me to kill an orc lady. And then I'm going to use my charisma to tell that orc lady that you should probably give me this this amulet you're holding so I can tell him that you're dead when you're really not. And stuff like that. Like, it's really, really well designed, and it feels smooth. I'm actually really glad, there's apparently in the non-enhanced edition, the game didn't have camera control, so you couldn't really move your camera.
Okay.
And I feel it makes a lot of difference being able to move the camera because it makes it a lot easier to find stuff. But it's a little bit overwhelming at first, but like I had this awesome thing where me and my friend split up in this town. He went to one side of the town and met this cool like Salvern accent knight and got her to join the party. And then I found this lady who was in a cage for biting someone's face off because she's...
What?
Yeah, because she acts like kind of like an animal because she was raised by like animals. So I was like, this is A-grade party material. I totally... And I got her to join my group, so... And it was such an awesome feeling. It was like, wow, we both did like this really cool shit simultaneously. And it's just really well designed, and I'm probably going to play a lot more of that game. It's really good. Okay. But yeah, what'd you play this week?
Well, I didn't really, I didn't get to play anything this week. I did because I spent a little bit of time watching Overwatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess Overwatch is technically what I quote unquote played this week.
Sure.
But yeah, I was just watching a lot of gameplay because the beta, as you guys know, the beta started on the 27th.
Right.
And I like what I've seen of the game so far. So here's a couple of notes. There's no regenerating health.
Really? So
Yeah.
it's fixed. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, which I mean, it makes perfect sense because there's characters whose main thing is healing other characters, right? So if your health could regenerate, that would be pointless. And there's also health pickups around the map.
Exactly.
Yeah, overall, the gameplay looks really, really fast paced. And one thing I like about it is that do you play first person shooters, Tanner?
I play a decent amount, I would say so.
I mean, you've had those games where it's just not working. Like every time you get into a scuffle with a player, you're always a little too slow.
Yeah.
You just keep dying, right? And you're not assisting your team in any way.
Hmm.
Well, what I like about this game is that you can just switch. You can switch to a healing class or a support class. And okay, my shot isn't really falling today, so I'll just switch to Mercy and I'll start healing my teammates and buffing their damage. Or I'll switch to Lucio and give them a speed boost or something like that. Or I'll switch to crap, I forget her name, but one of the tanks, and I'll start projecting shields and protecting
Hmm.
people, right? So
Yeah.
it's like you don't have to kill people to be useful to your team. Obviously, your team needs offensive players. If your whole team is playing like shit, if your whole team is just not killing anybody, you guys are going to lose.
Yeah.
Right? But like, say you're just having a bad game, you can switch to more of a defensive player or a support player to help your team out. And in fact, there was because they have this thing at the end of every match called the play of the game, and there was a play of the game I watched that was by Mercy, who is a support class. She buffed this other player, and that player used their ultimate to kill a bunch of players. But the
Right.
Mercy was the one that got the play of the game. So I mean, it was like they got the play of the game without actually killing anybody, right?
Yeah.
It just shows the way it shows how cool the game is and how it can. It's really good for people who are first picking the game up, and for people who are just having a really bad day. And I really like that aspect. Oh, one other little bit, a little more. I think it was data mining. There we go. They found some strings. Uh, uh, they found some strings in the code that point towards console network authentication.
Yeah.
So there's like an initial PSN or Xbox Live authentication and waiting for PSN Xbox Live authentication, and it was in the code. So there is a little more
Proof.
that this is coming to consoles eventually, and yeah.
Which is good. Which is good.
Which is good because I'm really excited for it. I also got into the Battleborn technical test, but unfortunately it starts today. In fact, I think it starts right now.
Yeah.
So this is how much I love you guys. I am recording this podcast instead of playing the Battleborn test. But then also
he's sacrificing for you.
and I also I looked over the non-disclosure agreement again, and I most certainly cannot talk about it on the podcast. So
Absolutely. So
yeah.
You'll just say it was good. All right, next topic. Okay, it was like that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But plus we are going to be talking about, because they did reveal a little bit about Battleborn later. We'll talk about it later in the podcast about some modes. So we will be able to talk about that, which is kind of nice. But yeah, first off, let's talk about Helldivers. Helldivers expansion on the way. And it's a new strike mission where you drop into enemy strongholds, and it's sort of kind of like wave based from what I could tell.
Yeah. I play a little bit of it. It doesn't really feel like an expansion. I mean, no disrespect, because it's free, right? So I feel bad saying it doesn't really feel like an expansion because it just adds a new objective type.
Right.
I didn't get to play too much of it, but I played this one mission and it was just like you're in this really tiny arena, and it was like kill 400 enemies, and then once you kill 400 enemies, the dropship comes and picks you up, right? Okay, that's not true.
It's a basic horde mode then.
Yeah, I never completed it though, so I can't tell how it would end. Because here's the thing: is that Helldivers, you have to switch up your playstyle for that thing because the arenas are so small. Like in regular Helldivers, you have the entire map, right? So when you start getting bomb rushed, you can run away and regroup and stuff like that. But for this one, it's a circular arena. So it's very difficult to kite enemies, and the enemies spawn all around the arena. So overall, I didn't have a lot of fun with it when I played it.
I feel like if you went with a good setup, though, you could probably do pretty well. Like, I'm thinking, bring turrets and, bring defensive stratagems and whatnot.
I don't know if you want to be bringing turrets to that. Remember how I said it's a circular arena?
Well, depending on where the enemies spawn, if they're spawning out of certain funnels, then
they spawn everywhere.
They just spawn randomly. All right.
Yeah,
well, I'll have to try myself and see.
I didn't. Yeah, but I definitely need to switch up my loadouts because I just used my regular loadout for it. It didn't really work out. I'll give it a few more goes, but yeah, I didn't enjoy it too much. They also released some DLC packs. There was a terrain specialist pack that that adds that adds this new perk with
That
snow.
the boots, the
Yeah, some
terrain
snow boots.
boots.
So yeah, you don't have to be trudging through the snow anymore. And it also helps you walk through swamp water and anything that slows down.
If you decide I don't know what DLC if maybe I'll pick up one of the DLCs for this game, pick up that one because Jesus is that damn useful. Because I can't tell you how many times I've died just because it's like I need to run away. Oh, there's lots of snow, or like oh god, swamp.
Yeah, I just used to pick the jetpack and use that to mitigate the fact
Mm.
to mitigate the fact that you can't walk in snow. But yeah, I can see this being pretty useful. I don't know if I'll use it because it's a perk, and the perks I use right now I'm quite fond of. But yeah, it adds something different, so that's pretty
In
cool.
some ways, it might be like, well, why wouldn't you just use a jetpack? And it says, well, because this is a perk, it stays with you. And
Yeah.
if you have a jetpack, then you die, and the jetpack just falls into the ground. And then it's like, well, if everyone's running away from the spot where you died, you're not getting that jetpack back unless you have like 4 jetpack stratagems. So,
Yeah, this is true. There is that's a pretty good point. But I give them credit for expanding.
yeah.
Trying because this is different. This is a different type of perk. So good stuff to them. The other pack I didn't really understand what it was.
What I read is that it's the perk that you get. It allows you to call in stratagems way, way faster, like more than some of the other perks. Like the amount of time for like a rocket to come down is increased, and it's more about faster, more precise stratagem call downs, and that's what the perks mostly do. That one was a little more boring, to be honest, because
Yeah.
it's more standard kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
But that's but whatever. I still think this, like I said, the thing that I love about this game is that they're doing the best thing that you could do. Slow content, add more content over time so that people have reason to go back.
Yeah.
And that's just the best way to do it.
They also increased the level cap from 30 to 50.
Which will probably drive a lot of people nuts and give them another reason to play. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about, so let's just dive into it. Tekken 7 announcement trailer. Okay, first thing I gotta say, I think the trailer's really awesome and pretty solid. I love that they decided to show that one stupid animation of I forget the character, but he just throws that guy off the cliff.
Yeah,
And he just stares at the camera with the
yeah,
goofiest
yeah.
stuff. I can't believe they showed that. It just looks so stupid, but I love it. I absolutely love it. What did you think of the trailer?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's funny because Harada came out and he was like, "Okay, Tekken 7 is gonna be on PS4," and I'm like, "Okay, I think we all knew that already." But thanks, Harada, thanks. But the trailer looks honestly, I can't lie, the trailer looked pretty cool because I haven't cared about Tekken 7 at all, at all. I just don't have interest in that series anymore. But the story trailer actually got me interested because Tekken as a series is one of the only fighting games that I ever played for the story.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the story. It wasn't until the story started getting ridiculous in Tekken 5 that I kind of lost interest, which is weird because a lot of people really like Tekken 5 because the game looked really good. But the trailer was pretty cool. It didn't. It's supposed to be the culmination of the Mishima drama. For those that don't know, Heihachi Mishima, he throws Kazuya off a cliff.
Yeah.
When he's really young, because he's like, my son won't be weak, and if you're my son, you climb back to the top. So Kazuya, bleeding at the bottom of the cliff, makes a deal with the devil. The devil gives him power, and he comes back, beats Heihachi in Tekken 1, and throws him off a cliff. Then Heihachi survives, comes back, beats Kazuya in Tekken 2, throws him into a volcano. Yeah.
There seems to be a pattern here. People like throwing people down large cliffs and shit in this game.
And then Kazuya comes back in Tekken 4, and they've been going back and forth ever since. So Tekken 7 is supposed to be the culmination of all the plot line, and it'll be interesting to see where they take it. They bring him back, Heihachi's wife. Not bring him back. They're introducing Heihachi's wife because she's never been in Tekken before, and I'm just really actually interested to see how they're going to wrap
things up.
entire Mishima saga. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just cool stuff, cool stuff. More fighting game news. Street Fighter V release date February 16th. Add that to the list of just every game coming out February.
It's ridiculous. It's
just
absolutely ridiculous. But it's coming out February 16th. They gave us a little more details about how the fight. What's funny though is that prior to the Paris game show, prior to Sony's press conference, a bunch of leaks happened. They leaked who the character was going to be. It was Dalsim.
Mm-hmm.
Then they leaked the release date, February 16th. And so Ono comes up and he's like, okay, let's just act like you guys didn't read any Street Fighter news in the past 2 hours and act like everything I say right now is brand new. Okay, cool. All right, let's go. So then he announces everything. He's like that, release dates. And then he's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to surprise you guys. This is something that hasn't been leaked yet. The final character, Harada. Haha, I just trolled all you assholes. Deuces, I'm the man. Y'all ain't on my level. And he just walks out. And I was like, God damn you, Ono. I actually sat up in my seat, like, oh my God, he's going to show the final character? Nope, I just got trolled. I just got trolled by Ono. So, yeah. But that was pretty cool. The Dalsim looks solid. We don't have too many details about him right now. His V trigger is no, his V skill. His V skill is a flame carpet, I believe. Well, keep in mind this is all speculative, but I believe his V skill is a flame carpet that he used in the trailer. He like sprays fire on the floor, and then it's persistent. It causes white damage, which is recoverable damage. But then if you get hit, you lose all of it, all that health. He got a new move, a hover. So he floats. It floats. You can jump into it and then floats to like mess up his jump trajectory, and I think that was going to be very, very annoying. He can also attack out of it. He also grew a manly ass beard.
Right. Yeah.
And he looks decent. I can't lie, I was kind of disappointed. Dalsim is one of my least favorite Street Fighter characters ever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could always be worse. Who's that one guy? The really fat guy.
Rufus?
Yeah, Rufus. It could always be Rufus.
It could always be Rufus. His critical art looks the same as it was in Street Fighter 4. Just a giant fireball that he can use for like setups and stuff like that. Yeah. Overall, he looks cool. He looks like the most interesting Dalsim I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
So not bad.
Yeah, we've got one character left. Oh, and they also said there's going to be 6 DLC characters coming out in 2016. So, math with simple math, it's one character every 2 months, which is a pretty steady stream of characters. And they released some silhouettes, but we can't really decide. People have been trying to decipher them. I'm just gonna wait for the characters to be revealed.
Yeah, it's like Ono could be trolling us, and like one silhouette could be like clearly one character, but then just like, oh, trolled you, it was actually this the entire time.
Yeah, or they could just pose a character in a certain way that makes it look like a different character. Like, because there's one character there that looks very much like a boxer. He's got both his hands up, and he's got the boxer pose. So people are thinking maybe it's Barrow, maybe it's Dudley, but it could just be like Alex with his hands up in the air. Alex isn't actually a boxer. So no point speculating on that shit. I'm just gonna wait till they officially announce the characters. But yeah, six characters. And 6 characters coming out next week every 2 months, which leads me to believe that we're going to get a character very, very close to launch. Right. We're going to get a DLC character very close to launch, which is going to be cool. The 2 months gives you enough time to build up fight money to buy the characters. Right. They're going to have daily quests similar to a free-to-play game.
Yes.
And you're also going to gain fight money for leveling up your characters. Leveling up your characters has no effect on the character. It doesn't make them better. It just shows which character you play the most, So you could have like a level 10 Zangief and a level 3 Ryu, and it's like, oh shit, I don't play my Ryu a whole lot. And it just gains you fight money too, so that's cool.
I think that like the fight money system is actually pretty solid. We'll see when we can actually see how much things actually cost as far as like fight money. But in theory, it does seem like a relatively good system, because it's like, all right, just keep playing the game. You're playing the game. You're having fun. you're shooting them Hadokens and you're getting fight money, and eventually you save up and you buy a character or you buy a costume or whatnot, and you save yourself having to buy buy it with actual money. I mean, there are probably going to be situations where I'm like, okay, screw this, I'm just going to buy it with actual money. But depending on how, like, for example, like, if me and my friend, we play League, and it's like, most of the time, I don't have to spend money on characters. I just sort of save up, and I'll be like, okay, I have enough money, or enough points to buy this character with the in-game currency. Just bam. Like, just have that. So, I'm hoping for something kind of similar.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, just cool stuff. Hopefully that game comes out and isn't buggy. Hopefully. Another awesome game, Gravity Rush 2 gameplay trailer. Just love the way you fly around in that game. It just looks really good.
Yeah. They give us some quick details about the combat system. They're gonna have two new combat systems. So you have your normal style, which is like the first game, Lunar, which
Luna,
makes Cat's body light, and then Jupiter, which makes her heavier, so she's not as mobile, she does more damage. And then there's also a tag battle system where you can work with Raven, I believe is her name.
Raven.
Or well, I mean, the way they phrase it makes me believe that you're going to have multiple AI-controlled allies. But in the trailer, it's Raven. It's going to be single-player only, so there's no co-op. Because when I was watching the trailer, I thought there might be co-op.
I got that idea, too, because I was like, are they implying that this game's co-op? And then I looked up the details, like, oh, no, it's single-player. Okay.
Single-player only. But overall, it looks pretty cool. It's a lot more colorful. The environments are a little destructible. I mean, you can't level buildings, but you can level like markets and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Overall, it makes me happy to hear them focus on the combat, because the combat was the worst part of the original game, in my opinion. So if they can iron out the combat, they might have a really good hit on their hands. They've been working on this game since the original game launched in 2012. So I'll be very surprised if it doesn't launch like middle of next year.
Right.
But yeah, what about you? How do you feel about it?
I'm excited because I've always wanted to get my hands on Gravity Rush, and I really like how they're like, all right, Gravity Rush came out on the Vita, we're gonna report it for the PlayStation 4, and Gravity Rush 2 will come out eventually afterwards, and it's the best way to move a series, in my opinion. Like for me, it's like, okay. Because I've played a lot of series where it's like I have to jump from console to console to keep myself up to date. And I like the fact that it's like, okay, good. I don't have to be like, I want to play Gravity Rush 2, but I want to know what happened in Gravity Rush 1. Oh, don't worry, it's coming to the PS4. Okay, good.
Yeah, that was really smart of Sony. Because they pretty much I'm just gonna briefly touch on this. They've completely shut down first-party support for the Vita. They're no longer developing first-party games for the Vita.
Yeah.
So they're moving all the franchises with potential, they're moving them to the PS4. So
which is actually I think is a pretty good decision, because it just means more games for the PS4. Which,
I mean, yeah, if they're giving up on the Vita, this is the best possible way they could do it. I still think they're a bunch of punks for giving up on the Vita, but we're not gonna get into that on this podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've moved Gravity Rush, they moved Terra away. So Gravity Rush looking really cool. Hopefully looking forward to hearing more of it. Gravity Rush Remaster is coming out in February, because there's not enough games coming out in February.
No, clearly not enough. No. Too many games coming out in April, clearly.
Yeah, it's going to be $30, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be digital only.
Yeah.
But it's coming out in February, so all you people that never got to try out the original Gravity Rush can give it a shot in preparation for the sequel coming out sometime next year.
I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited for Gravity Rush 2. Just get it.
Moving on to a game that I'm really.
Oh yeah, you were super hyped for this one.
Okay, so when this game got announced at E3, I was cautiously optimistic, because it was like, I didn't like the first Nier. Okay, I never played the first Nier, but I looked at it and it actually looked like shit. So I never touched it. However, they announced a sequel to Nier that was being developed by Platinum Games. And
good old Platinum.
Sorry?
I just said good old Platinum.
Good old Platinum, and it was going to be made exclusively for the PS4. Now, I'm a big Platinum Games nerd. And I was really saddened by the fact that the PS4 was the only console that did not have a AAA game being developed by Platinum. The Xbox has Scalebound, the Wii U had Wonderful 101 and Bayonetta 2. So, and the PS4 had jack shit. So when they announced this, I was cautiously optimistic. Then I saw the trailer, and the trailer is so it looks really good. Granted, I mean the combat it looks like a typical Platinum game, smooth ass combat, but that is all I want. That is all I want. Just give me that. And the soundtrack was amazing.
Yeah, it was really, really good, and I was like, damn, like that's pretty damn solid, and I'm really liking from what they've shown so far. Probably more like this trailer. You're totally right. Like it just makes the game look so much better than what they showed, the little that they showed at E3.
Yeah, and so like it's weird because it's going to be a joint collaboration between Square Enix, right?
Right.
So the people that worked on the original Nier are still involved. So the creative director, the producer, the composer,
right,
and the character designer are all still involved in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But Platinum Games is doing the core gameplay development, which is perfect for me because that is all I like. That is all I want from Platinum Games.
Yeah, like
the story.
Yeah, don't give them the story, dear God. But but like that's a perfect combination. It's like they create such smooth, awesome gameplay, and then you've got Square Enix working on a really awesome soundtrack and design stuff, which could be like from a presentation standpoint would be really, really awesome. So yeah, it just seems like a really good combo.
Yeah, we don't have a release date yet, but it's something to keep our eye out. Apparently, okay, they say it's coming soon to PS4 in 2016. So at least at the moment, it's we have a release window. It's a broad ass window, but it's a window nonetheless, and I'll take it.
Like it's just I'm excited, and I like I said, I loved this. I loved the fact that we were getting tons and tons and tons of games this this week, tons and tons of footage. But we'll talk about more about that, I guess, near the end when we do our wrap up of Paris. Yeah. But another thing, Battleborn beta trailer. Well, PvP modes. It mostly just announced a bunch of PvP modes. There was the Meltdown mode, which seemed like you were escorting minions to the specific point. There was Incursion, which is you're escorting a giant robot to, I guess, the enemy base, and Capture mode, which looks like basic capture.
Yeah.
So what did you think of the modes that they showed off?
I wish they'd actually show like gameplay walkthrough so we got more detail about as to how these modes played out and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like from the trailer, I couldn't really get a feel for how the modes were going to work. But it's good that we're finally getting some PvP information.
Yes.
It looked cool. The Incursion mode looked like it would lend itself to some pretty epic moments. And overall, yeah, it looks pretty fun. I'm excited to trying it out after we're done recording this podcast.
I'm gonna make this podcast super long just to torment Fawaz. Well, what else? So there's that, and then okay, the game that is very like a dream, very hard to explain, and doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but okay. It's the Dreams beta got announced as well. And they put a lot of new details into this, and I feel like it would have been better if they showed this at E3. Because this
really?
kind of makes the game make a little more sense. Because when we watched at E3, both of us kind of scratched it. I don't even like what is this game? Like I don't even understand what this game is. And now it makes a little more sense to me because they showed off the Imp, which is like your create tool. It's like your customizable cursor that allows you to fiddle around with the world. It's meant to be kind of like a Sackboy kind of thing, but it's not as cool. But it's at least it's something.
Yeah.
But what I've seen that I do like about it is that now they've shown how the actual dreams connect, which are links. And I guess whenever you create a specific scene in this game, you put a door somewhere in the scene, and that door will lead to other dreams, and you can customize where these doors will lead to, whether it be your friends' dreams or just random dreams with similar themes and stuff like that. So I really like that they showed that off because that kind of means like it's almost like it kind of makes you think of like a music playlist You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
just on a more visual scale. Like okay, I want to boot up this game. I want all cyber. I want all cyber dreams, and you just put the playlist to that, and you just kind of go through scene after scene after scene, which I like. I think that's actually a pretty interesting system of doing this game. The other thing I liked was how they showed off just live creating, in
yeah.
which they're creating. You get into a room with four people online, and you have one person just use the ragdoll like teddy bear, walk around and just test the room as it's being created. And I think
Yeah.
that was a really really cool thing that they showed off. But honestly, like I actually am a little more interested from this trailer. Like I thought it was a pretty damn good trailer. But what did you think of it so far?
Well, first things first. It's sad that what got me the most excited about the trailer was the imp, because
Yeah.
when they announced the dreams, I was like, okay, this is like I got an idea at E3 that they
Okay.
were trying to make pretty much a 3D version of Little Big Planet, right?
Right.
And I was like, that's cool and all,
Mm-hmm.
but where's my one of the coolest things about Little Big Planet was Sackboy, you
Right.
know? I'm like, where's my Sackboy? The game lacked personality because it was just abstract, right? So when
Yeah.
they showed
Very
the imp, I was
abstract.
like, okay, you know what? The imp isn't Sackboy,
But it's
but
something.
it's a thing, and you can customize it and all that. So that was pretty cool. But no, overall, it's a very difficult game to describe. I mean, when they first announced it, they were like that. This is a very difficult game to describe. But the impression I've gotten is that it's pretty much just a 3D Little Big Planet. I'm really excited for the beta because I
Yes.
feel like once people get their hands on the creation tools,
Mm-hmm.
the game will really open up then, and it will show other people the potential that this
Yes.
game possesses. Because one thing that's always worried me, like with Little Big Planet, I could never build anything because it was really difficult. Hopefully, this game is more accessible than Little Big Planet. The demo made it look okay. It's hard to. The demo did make it look somewhat accessible. It made it look more like a Mod Nation Racers. Mod Nation Racers, it was really easy to build something competent, not just necessarily something
Yeah.
good, but something competent.
Competent. Yeah.
Yeah. So
The one thing that they pointed out, which is like you can build things from scratch, and you can also kind of take a preset and kind of build off that. So it's like you can. It's a little bit weird, but they're almost like encouraging you sometimes. If you don't really have that great of an imagination, you can take someone's work and tweak it slightly differently. Like
yeah,
they flat out said that in the trailer. I'm like, okay, I guess that helps for people who it's like I don't even, but I can do a little bit. I'd like to
yeah,
customize the level a little bit, maybe, which
uh-huh,
I think is a good way to do it. Like try like they stood what it seems like they're trying to go for is let's try and make it very deep, and there's a lot of like customization and a lot of things that you can do in this, but let's also attempt to make it a little more accessible. But it still at this moment comes off as like really not accessible, but I think that will be different once people actually get their hands on it and figure out how it
uh-huh.
actually works.
Yeah. So if we looking forward to the beta next year, hopefully I think the biggest thing with this game is, like you said, the accessibility. Because if it's too difficult to make something that doesn't look like shit, then
Yeah,
this game will kind of fall flat on its face.
yeah,
But I'm really excited for it. I have faith in Media Molecule. I mean, granted, they have a very limited resume, but their resume is top notch.
yeah. It's pretty
So
solid.
I have faith in them, and I'm looking forward to it. And honestly, I'm just happy that the co-op aspect, because one really cool thing about Little Big Planet was bringing your friend Sackboy into your demo,
Hmm.
into your world, and then you guys are exploring the world together and stuff like that. So I'm glad that the imps are are kind of like Sackboy, not exactly.
But yeah, like it's a way for you to enjoy Dreams as a cooperative experience with
Yeah,
friends, which is good, which is really really good.
exactly.
But interested nonetheless. Good trailer. Good job, guys. And then next, No Man's Sky gets a release date, June 2016.
So we can finally stop hearing about this goddamn game at every single
Okay,
press
yeah, yeah.
conference.
I'm a bit flabbergasted by that because it's like we hear about this game so much, and every time I see it, it's kind of getting a little bit annoying because I'm seeing the same things All right, there's infinite worlds. I get it. There's infinite worlds. Yes, I like the art style. It looks cool. I still don't know what I'm gonna do in this game other than find a world, hit a button, and then leave. But okay, nonetheless. But it's just like, yeah, I'm kind of at the point where it's like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to hear any more about this game. No more. No more. Please. So much that we're going to just move on to our next topic. How's that? Next topic, Wild, new PS4 game. Okay, I gotta point out, I find it kind of funny how we were talking about Far Cry Primal recently, and then Wild comes out, and it's also kind of like, prehistoric in some ways. Yeah. But in some ways, I'm a little more interested in this game than I am in Far Cry. Just because I like the idea of taking control of animals. I think that's really, really cool, and it seems like what they're selling really, really like a lot. And also, the greatest thing in the world is bear cavalry. Like, when a game has bear cavalry, it's just, oh. That was the reason why I downloaded League of Legends, was someone was like, dude, there's a costume in which a character rides a mechanized bear. And I'm like, okay, yep, nope, I gotta play this game now. Like I just say, just bear cavalry's the best. What can I say? But what did you think of what they shown of Wild?
Yeah, just as a quick aside, this game was actually announced at Gamescom last year.
Really?
Wow, yeah. This game was announced Gamescom 2014. They showed it. It's made by the guy who made Rayman, original, one of the original minds behind Rayman, and they announced it at Gamescom 2014 last year. It looked pretty cool then, and it's nice to finally see some gameplay. Yeah. Overall, I like the idea. I really like the idea, and I'm gonna get to this when we talk about Paris Games Week in general. Mm-hmm. But I like that we're seeing new, unique exclusives for PlayStation, because games like this are why I invested in a PS4. Yes. So I was glad to see it. I mean, graphically, the game looks like shit. I'm just gonna
it's not the greatest as far as graphics go.
But I'm intrigued to see how big the game is going to be, if it warrants looking so bad, or if it's going to be sold as like a cheaper type of game to warrant how bad it looks. But overall, it looks like a lot of fun. The giant snake thing at the end actually didn't creep me out as much as I thought it would.
That's the media. It's like okay, snakes creep me out, but snake ladies, oh god, so hot. See, if you were fighting snake ladies in Bloodborne, you would have been fine. That's what I'm gathering from this statement.
You know what? Let's just move on to the next topic. Before I put my foot in my mouth, Sony showed another new IP, Boundless. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of actual gameplay. It gave off a No Man's Sky, Minecraft kind of vibe, but I'm not really sure what to think of it. It looks good. I like the art style, but unfortunately, there's not a lot to go on there.
Like it seems very Minecrafty, No Man's Sky-ish, and the portals thing I think is pretty cool. Like, if that's... Because that's the thing, is that it seems like what they're trying to sell is that, look, this, like, portals, man. You just walk through this door and you end up in a completely different part of the world. And I really like that part of the trailer. But like I said, it didn't really give us a lot of information. So it's only, like, it's mostly speculation at this point.
Yeah. It's apparently, just real quick, I just found some minor details. It's on PS4 and PC, but it's cross-platform and everyone plays in the same universe.
Oh, so, nice.
So it's an open-world exploration game. You're all in the same universe, and I'm guessing people can just visit your game. Oh, speaking of which, before we go too far, Wild actually mentioned something interesting. It's gonna have a multiplayer aspect similar to Dark Souls, in that you can invite people into your game and they can help you out. So say you've been focusing on like being a bear cavalry tamer. So you as a shaman, you have a very, very close connection with the bears, but you found a mission that requires some snake shit. So then you holler at your boy who's really, really in tune with the snakes. He comes into the game and he helps you out. So that's the impression I got from what they mentioned about the co-op. But Boundless looking really cool.
Yeah, like
Yeah, man.
I'm pretty happy with it. But we'll just have to see if we get more details. Okay, so now this is the one that I really wanted to talk about. Okay, so Detroit, Become Human, the next Quantic Dream game. All right, first off, I gotta say this. Okay, so Detroit Become Human is a terrible title. It's absolutely terrible title for a video game. It's just so freaking stupid. Oh god. And that it kind of sucks, but my relationship with Quantum Dream is kind of interesting because I like Heavy Rain. I think Heavy Rain is actually a pretty decent game. It's not great, but I think it's pretty decent. And the thing about David Cage is that his other two games, Indigo Prophecy and Beyond Two Souls, I hate for very different reasons. Like, Indigo Prophecy is bad, but it's hilariously bad. Like, it's hilariously bad on a level that you're just like, what was going through his head at the time to think that that was a smart decision? Like, oh god, there's so, like I'll have to show you some scenes from that game that are just flat out stupid. Like, it's just amazing. But Beyond Two Souls was the newer one, and that one I actually think is just bad because that game actually tries, and it like, but that's a weird thing is that like Indigo Prophecy, from the moment you start the game you just know it's gonna be bad, and it's like there's no saving it, and it's just hilariously bad. Whereas I find Beyond Two Souls is just sort of bad and not interestingly bad, which kind of sucks. But in between Heavy Rain and Beyond, he did a short called Kara, which I really really liked. I thought this like short was really really cool and interesting, and it seems like that's what the next game is based on. You play as like an android who's sort of got a soul or is sort of treating herself as a living being in a society that treats androids as not living beings, more like objects. And you know, it's very kind of, you know,
Deus Ex.
Deus Ex-y, and it's not
Which
really
is also set in Detroit.
yeah. That's actually, I didn't think of that actually. But I really liked at the end because in the short, she starts the short like "My name is Kara," and I really liked at the end of the trailer how it just pans to her face and she goes, "My name is Kara, and this is our story." And I'm just like, okay, that's pretty good. I'm actually optimistic about this one. As much as I hated Beyond Two Souls, I'm more optimistic about this one because the farther away they stay away from magic bullshit, the better the games are. That's why Heavy Rain was the best one, because there was no magical bullshit in that one. Indigo and Beyond both had magical bullshit, and it was freaking terrible. But anyway, that's sort of my little Quantic Dream rant for now. What did you think?
Yeah, I do agree with you in that I feel like they should stay away from the magic first off. But I've never played any of Quantic Dream's games. Unfortunately, I really wanted to play Heavy Rain because and correct me if I'm wrong. You played Heavy Rain, right?
Yes.
So correct me if I'm wrong here, but in Heavy Rain, it's one of those games where your decisions actually have an effect.
Yes.
And characters can actually die, and you can actually save them, and your decisions actually matter, right?
Yeah,
like
your decisions actually matter. Like, I remember there's one that, okay, it did piss me off though. Is that there was a QuickTime event. There was a QuickTime event that I failed in the game that would have led to me finding one of the most important clues in the entire game that would have helped me solve the case, and I couldn't solve the case as this particular character, and I was like, God dang it. So in that respect, it's cool. And yes, you can flat out kill every single character in that game, which is awesome.
So yeah, I hope.
And there's certain characters that you're gonna want to kill off anyway.
So yeah, I hope this game follows a similar path in the sense that it's a branching story. Because I remember when I lost interest, because I kept my eye on Beyond Two Souls when it was announced. When I lost interest in it was when IGN was showing this demo, and the whole time they were showing this demo, like the whole time they're setting up the demo, they're talking about how, oh my god, like the two of us played this same section and they played out completely differently, and you know, all these decisions actually matter and blah blah blah. And then I watch it, and the first person plays, and the second person plays, and I didn't even make it through. I didn't finish the second person's playthrough because I was like, this looks exactly like the first one. Are you guys on crack? Like, am I the only one that noticed that? Okay, sure. There's little differences here and there, but in general, the path will still be exact same. in both cases, which I really don't like. So hopefully Detroit. That's actually a really bad name. Yeah, now
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I'm
not the
saying it,
great.
and it's a really bad name because Beyond, at least that sounds like epic. Indigo Prophecy, Heavy Rain, Detroit. Really? Of all the American cities, you picked Detroit?
And if I said, "Oh man, Detroit, cool game," it's like, what the fuck is Detroit about? Like, at least with like Deus Ex: Human Revolution, you can kind of guess what that game is going to be about, or like freaking BioShock, you can kind of guess what that game is sort of gonna be about. But with Detroit, it's just so generic, and you can't even figure out what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But it looks interesting, and I'm definitely keeping my eye on it. So I guess now we can just talk about Paris Games Week as a
Yeah.
whole. I just want to give Sony some credit. I shit on Sony a lot on this podcast, and it's because I feel like they deserve to be shat on. First of all, most people have been sucking them off. Okay, most people have been sucking them off for like the past year and a half, for the past 2 years, and I feel like people have been letting a lot of the shit that they've been doing slide. So I feel compelled to call them out on their bullshit. But with that said, this was one of their best press conferences.
Yeah,
Period.
no, this was
I actually
really
think
good.
this press conference is better than the E3 press conference. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that, but
I would say it was good, but like I said, I got 3 of the games that I thought were never going to come out infinitely. But yes, you are right. It was damn good.
Let me explain what I mean. First of all, most of the games announced at this press conference were actually coming out next year, right?
Okay,
a lot of them
I see what you mean.
Are either coming out next year or have their betas coming out next year. So we got quantifiable games that we can play in a decent we can play soon. Let's just go with soon.
Okay,
the other thing was the pacing, right? They started the press conference off with their third-party bullshit. They were like, okay, we've got Call of Duty 3 shit, we've got some Battlefront shit that no one cares about. All right, let's move on to the stuff that people actually care about. And then that was it. No more third-party bullshit for the rest of the press conference.
Yeah.
Then they didn't spend too much time on PlayStation VR. I don't give 3 shits about PSVR, but you know what? Sure, you wanna experiment, you wanna do stuff, do it, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't focus too much on it. They had a little period where they spoke about VR, and that was it. That was the end of that. Then they had actual exclusives, not console exclusives, not first on PS4, not exclusive content bullshit. Actual
like
exclusives.
legit exclusives. Yeah.
Detroit, Wild, Gran Turismo 7. Gran Turismo Sports. Let me rephrase that. Drive Club Bikes, Dreams, Nier Automata, Gravity Rush 2. Actual exclusives at this press conference. No asterisks, nothing. Like, these are games that are only coming to PlayStation. If you want to play these games, you better go out and buy yourself a goddamn PS4.
Yeah.
That's the only place you're going to play it. And then, sure, there was some games that are also on PC, like Boundless and Street Fighter 5. And I personally believe Street Fighter 5 is going to be on the Xbox One eventually, but let's not get into that.
Probably.
But, it was just paced really well. Sure, the presenter was garbage. That dude could put a rave to sleep. Seriously, do you hear that guy's voice? Who chose that guy to present, to do a presentation?
I don't know.
It's like, hello, guys. So, we had a really good year this year. We had Bloodborne and a bunch of games no one cares about. But, it was a pretty good year. And, where's the hype, man? Seriously.
Where's the hype? I know. But like I said, that's yeah, I can see what you mean.
Fawaz?
Or Fawaz, yes. I know your name. I was just having trouble coming up with the thought. I see what you mean. Where it's like, yeah, this in a lot of ways, this was more smoother of a press conference than the E3 one. It was more smoother. There was more exclusives. There were more surprises in some ways. More exclusives, more games that we never even heard about.
We didn't even talk about Uncharted 4 this entire time.
Yeah, the Uncharted 4 got a multiplayer trailer, actually, which was pretty decent.
That's how jam-packed this conference was.
Yeah, it was just jam-packed with content, so it was a really, really, really solid conference. But yeah, I guess my biggest gripe with is, I agree with you, it's just the guy narrating it. It was just like, could you got anyone else? I would have accepted Over the Top. I almost want Over the Top. I want someone who's trying to sell me so badly, like, Wild is going to blow your fucking mind. You are going to be...
Racer!
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I want that. I want that experience again. Oh god. But yeah, just I was really happy. Just a really solid conference.
And I was kind of nervous because the PlayStation event is in December, so I
Right.
thought that they were going to hold off because I mean they don't want to blow all their load too early, right? So they're
Right.
gonna hold off on some stuff for the PlayStation event. But now I'm actually excited for the PlayStation event for the first time. I'm actually excited for a Sony press conference for the first time in a while.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So
It's
I
beautiful.
honestly can't wait for the PlayStation experience. That's what it's called,
Yeah,
experience, to
experience.
see because if this is what they showed at Paris, like
Mm,
what are they going to show us at their own event in
right.
December? So I'm pumped. Like we didn't even talk about the Horizon Zero Dawn
Mm,
demo. I'm just like it was that was a very good press conference. Hats off to you, Sony.
yeah.
Hopefully you keep it up moving forward, and we have a pretty good event at the PlayStation Experience.
Yeah, that's all I can really hope for. I mean, I'm excited. More news about the Bloodborne DLC will hopefully be on its way and whatnot.
Yeah,
I mean, it'll probably be obviously. I know it's going to be out before that even happens, but whatever. I'm just excited. I'm excited.
yeah.
Um,
Before we wrap it up,
mhm.
we got a question on our last video by J Streets 1983. Wow,
Yee, J Streets.
old, old ass, old ass dude. Anyway, he's like, do you believe that game devs and gamers have a false friendship of a relationship? Similar to when your favorite musician retires or something, people take it personal. While I'm like, you don't know each other, you aren't friends. Okay, so pretty much he's just asking that do gamers feel a false connection to developers?
I feel that can be appropriated to most media, so I would say yes, that can totally happen. Because like if I like for example, like if it's a creator that I really appreciate your work, your work has inspired me to to do better in my life and stuff like that, and then that creator either retires or that creator does something you think is bad, then you feel wronged on more of a personal level. So
Yeah.
I can totally understand. Yeah, I feel like certain gamers, it depends on the type of relationship. I have that more feeling when I get disappointed in video game stories, where like I'm like, oh man, your first game was great, I love the story, and then it's like I get to the sequel and I'm like, what the hell happened, man? You fucked me over. How could you do this? And I've had that kind of experience happen, so I can totally get where he's saying. Where it's like, yeah, I would agree. I would agree that I would say yes. I would say like, depending on the content itself. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't think gamers have a deep moral connection to like Call of Duty games. But I could totally see that happening with certain types of other games. Just as far as like, there's a lot of creators that have inspired me in a lot of ways,
Oh,
and if I saw them do something really stupid, I would feel a bit like bummed out by that.
okay. So I guess you're saying okay, it is a thing, and you're not saying it's a negative, right? There's nothing wrong with
I would say it's nothing wrong because it can either be a good thing or a positive thing. Because if you have that connection, it can
a good thing
inspire
or a
you.
positive thing.
It's both a positive. It's both a blessing and a curse.
There we go.
There, that's my response. Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, the way I see it is that it's good to a point, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you start because and the analogy I made was that okay, sure. I feel let me use Bethesda because Bethesda is probably my favorite developer.
Okay, fair enough.
So I will let Bethesda get away with stuff that I would not let another company get away with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel that connection to Bethesda because they've given me some of my favorite games of the past. They gave me two of my favorite games of the past generation, right?
Right.
Now, with that said, I feel like where it becomes a problem is where gamers start letting developers get away with shit
Right.
because they feel that connection to the gamers. Like
Yes.
because they feel that connection to the developer. For example, I would like my friend, he makes a mistake, I'd be like, okay, cool. You know what? Everyone makes a mistake. He makes another mistake. I'm like, okay, dude, this is becoming a habit. He makes it a third time. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to call you out on this shit. A fourth time, I'm like, okay, cool. You know what? You know what? I can't mess with you. You're an idiot, right? So I feel it should be the same way with developers. Okay, sure. You know what? You feel this connection to that developer. Okay, for that, you should let them get away with stuff every now and then, right? But at the same time, call them out when it becomes too much, right? Call them out when they are taking advantage of you in the same way you would call out your friend. Because what a lot of people do is that they feel that connection to the developer, so they go out of their way to defend them. Like, it becomes ridiculous. They defend them to the point of it becoming ridiculous, and that's where your fanboys come from, right? So, that is that's how I feel on that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Yeah, it can. There's a certain point where you have to be like, no, you have to say like, dude, don't do this. But no, very good question, man. Awesome.
Thank you very much, Jay Streets, for the awesome question.
Yeah,
keep them coming.
Keep them coming. We'll shout outs to you every week. But anyway, with that, I think we're gonna have to wrap things up. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If you leave a comment in the comment section, we'll make sure to answer it in the next podcast. And as always, this was William Liberty and
Fawaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.